So hey, what's up, cousin? Like, good to see you again.
Good to see you as well, dear cousin. How's everything in Canada over there?
God, it's getting cold here. It's getting winter coming. Like everything is getting fucking cold. Like, I wish to be in Nicaragua with that weather here at the beach.
Bro, right now I'm at the beach. It's like a national holiday, like religious holiday. So people take advantage and we come to the beach and spend time around. Try to get a little bit of calmness during all this corona situation, which is getting people by their nerves. And even though we're in a third world country, well, the government is not really doing anything about it, nothing at all. Um, it's taking on the population that they are the ones that we are taking manners in our own hands and taking good care and like wearing a mask and like washing your hands and not being like not going to parties and or social encounters with other people. Like I'm here at the beach, I was just with my family, and I can even roam around and see that people do wear their mask, and even though obviously the government does not do anything to stop this crisis. Even though I heard in the news we're one of the few countries in the world where we're getting the vaccine for free, completely for free. Like we're so poor, like the country is so poor that we are declared as one of the poorest countries in the world. So we're getting the vaccine for free, paid by other uh, countries or by
Yeah,
the.
like if you allowed me to actually give you my personal perspective about all this vaccination and all these things, I don't know, to be honest, to take those vaccines. It doesn't matter if you come from Pfizer, from England, from Russia, which is going from Nicaragua, and all those things, because usually vaccination take 10 years to do proper research, and they're doing this in like in less than a year. Actually, I heard in England they just approve Pfizer to go and start vaccinating people. So this is what's going on. All these people is going to be tested, tested. Therefore, you don't know what the heck is going to happen after this. So I prefer myself, I don't know about you, but myself, I would just wait for like 1 year to see how all this vaccination actually like happens, and then maybe put one on my body. Because myself, I try like to do meditation, me, like exercise, like do healthy eating and all those things. And it's very, very, very actually difficult to you get into like a bad into a bad moment if you get the virus. For example, my personal experience when the pig goes here in Canada, I believe, I'm not for sure because I never tested, but I believe I get the virus twice. First time, I feel like very down, like kind of a temperature. I feel like shit. So I started, getting my ginger teas, like getting more healthier and do a little bit more meditation. And so far, if you get your mind harmonious, therefore your body becomes harmonious, and then you're easier to defeat the disease. But this
Of
is
course.
why also I keep myself very healthy. Of course, if you got cancer before, if you got any other disease before, or you eat a lot of shit food, like fast food and all these things, if you get the virus, like you have highly chances to end in a hospital. But if you're not, therefore you can be like, well, my personal experience, in order like to defeat the virus easier without getting a shot. That's just my personal perspective, and I'm not the only one worldwide who actually accept these actually kind of thoughts, because it has been applying. It's not only about believing in something, but actually quite experimenting in your own self.
Obviously, you're right. But you were dealing with a virus, something you have to be very good, like aware of, and you have to take good care of it. Like it's a germ. It's passed through germs, and
No, I'm definitely down with what you're saying. I'm saying like I'm not willing to put a vaccine in my body just right now, because it's testing the vaccine. So
of course,
even the Pfizer or whatever is the name of the vaccination company, they know they're testing people, and the people know they're being tested, because it's not 100%. Even the test for if you got COVID or not, one of these days Elon Musk get, I don't know if you heard, but Elon Musk get the virus, and he get a test and he get positive, and he get another test and he get negative, and he get another test and he get positive, and he get another test and get negative, and he's like, what the heck, like the fuck is going on in here? Like I get positive and negative. Like, should I believe in this thing? Should I not believe? So there's like a lot of fake news going on in the world right now. There's a lot of mafias trying to actually like organize in terms of vaccinations or medicines and so on so far. So it's quite difficult, in these times of fake news and a lot of like false media online to actually believe in something.
That is right. It's a fight of who has more of your attention and whose side do you believe. Like, I don't know if you watched like the U.S. elections, for example. Like, it was a shit show. Literally,
it's still a shit show, by the way.
Literally a circus, man. Like a circus. You're supposed to be the most respectable country in the whole wide world. You self-proclaimed the leader of the free world. Claimed in public television that our ballots are faked, our election is a fraud, everything is fake news, and then like his wig has like a personal life or something, like it looks like a pet, and then you have all this combined of someone that's shaped and looks like a carrot that has no like reason why he should be the president of the U.S. And even though he's finishing his term gladly, like, I don't know about you, man, but I've spent the last couple of years since this man got into power, like praying to God that he doesn't find the big red bottom that says like do not push, like a nuclear shit, like it's something like could have happened by a rant of this baby, like the big. I don't know.
Talking about wars and things like that, I was quite surprised. One of these days, I was actually like reading the news online, by the way, and it says like Trump has been the only president in the last 50 years who actually did not start any war. He called all their soldiers to United States to be with their families. In 50 years, the only president who actually stopped war. Somehow it doesn't stop
the war. No, there's still war going on, man. There's still war going on.
And not only that, but actually like some other good things. Like, to be honest, like from my personal perspective, being a Latin American person, the way Trump starts, at the beginning with like building the wall and all these racist comments and all these things, like it was quite bad, But in time, I believe maybe it's only me or you can actually see the perspective, but in time he become a little bit more aware about like how good is like the immigrants, for example, in America to help the country. How much power they have.
Wait. You're telling me that he has helped immigrants. The same immigrant children that are caged right now at the border, and they're caged like in a suitcase.
You're misunderstanding.
And they have not found their homes. Then they are right in the border. Then they have nowhere to go. They don't know where they're from. They're in cages.
Listen, you're misunderstanding my words. I'm not saying that. He's still an asshole, by the way. I don't like him. Okay. But what I'm saying is like, in time, since he beginning till right now, it has been like growing in some way awareness about the immigrants and the people in America, which are not exactly from America, because technically, as America and Canada, like most of the peoples are immigrants. They're not actually like from there because the native get killed, most of them. But this is what's up. In terms of time, you get a little bit more awe about what's going on, and he actually started putting like more Latin American people or more immigrants in power in order to grow. And this is a fact. I was reading actually the Latin American people or the immigrants get a lot of more work since he get empowered to the last 50 years. So probably I think it was like 5% more or 7.5% more jobs, which is good. Therefore, he has been doing some good things, but not because the way he is. He's a
Isn't
fucking
it,
racist
it
guy, and he has been doing a lot of bad things. And I'm glad he's not gonna be in power. But
yeah,
I'm not quite to believe also about the other guy. What's his name?
bro. Joe Biden, I don't
Yeah,
think he's
that one.
gonna make. I don't think he's gonna finish his term. He's probably just an old dinosaur that's gonna probably retire, get a heart attack, and then Kamala Harris will become the first woman of the first president woman of the United States of America that happens to be African American as well, and like I don't know from sort of some sort of background. I didn't know actually. I don't know. I should get I was thinking, isn't it wonderful that we can say, "Hey, Mr. Trump is an asshole" on internet and like live, and like we don't get shut down or we don't fear repercussions. Well, if we say that about Mr. Daniel Ortega Saavedra, the dictator of this country, Nicaragua, and his motherfucking wife, Rosario Murillo, right, who happens to be the woman then sends her own police to kill innocent children and start riots in the street and turn peaceful manifestations into a bloodbath and getting into detail about that. I think it's very interesting how freedom is an illusion somehow for us, for people. Like I'm right now in a beach house in a third world country that it's under a by all means a dictatorship. I can get fucked really hard just by saying that the asshole dictator is a fucking dictator and an asshole, and that his wife happens to be the one of the most horrible persons, people in the whole entire face of the humanity. And I fear my life just for saying that. Like it hurts in my chest knowing that what I'm saying might bite my ass in the future. But it's wonderful once we say that it's a free democracy and it's a free country, then you can say, hey, yeah, fuck Trump. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. In order to actually like to be in all this scam in the fucking internet, in terms of the virus, fake news, fake elections, and all these like fucking dictatorships in Nicaragua so far. There's like a lot of things to actually to think in order, like, for example, if you want to invest in money, in different things. Like right now, because everything has been like very low, it's quite good in order to take some risk and actually invest. Like I don't know, for example, like cryptocurrencies, because US has been printing like so much money lately, like so much money. But that shit is gonna crash at some point, like maybe in a couple of months or in a year, it will crash because it's so much money. So a lot of people is using that in order to get into cryptocurrencies and get more money. And I heard, not only I heard, actually I do invest in Bitcoin no like many months ago, and the shit has going like very fucking high. I invest in April, who was like $6,000 a coin. Right now it costs I think 19,000,
19,000.
almost twenty
We
thousand
we, we,
dollars.
we hit $20,000 a couple days ago. Amazingly, an all-time high. The record. I did the same thing you did, which is invested when it was really low, because I thought, hey man, it cannot go any lower than that, and any higher than that is just profit. So I saw it as that, and I entered with a whole coin, and I purchased a whole coin, and now the whole coin was worth. I sold the whole coin for $20,000 and some hundreds, and I made a profit, and I'm just waiting for it to go, come down again to make another purchase. or buy half a coin. While in the meanwhile, I get a break from Bitcoin and I invest in a more volatile currency, which is Ethereum. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's just making a bounce. It's more volatile. You can make a profit or a loss. It depends on what time of day you're running it. It usually goes like very steady up. Um, but it's a quick catch, man. It's
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And not only that, like there's also like other like companies, for example, like Zoom, the one we are using it right now, is going like super fucking high, like super fast because all the people is in quarantine, like people is in their houses, so they cannot leave. So most of the communication is like this, like you and I were doing right now.
yeah. Most of the payments are online as well, and in this crazy world where we cannot depend on the government saying how much our money is worth. So why does this US says, hey, this is how much a Canadian dollar is worth in my country? And like, that's not fair for other currencies to be that unstable. So if you get a one whole currency that functions as it functions in Japan, it functions in Nicaragua, and it functions in Norway, and it functions in Brazil or in Canada or anywhere in the world or anywhere else in the world, is worth the same. That is what true economy is pointing towards in this 21st century. We're ending the first 20 years of this new millennia. We're ending them in the next few days, man. Like, I cannot believe 2020 went so fast and everybody was just hitting, like being so cautious of the virus. We couldn't see or touch. People were dying and people are dying day by day. Like, I cannot say this as often as I possibly can. You have to be safe from this epidemic that's going on. But we spent the whole year inside our houses, and look, nothing has happened in the sense that, oh well, the world is shifting and the economies are shifting as well. And
Not, not,
while
not, not only that, but our consciousness or awareness is shifting, seriously, like our psychology or emotions or the way we perceive the world is actually affecting us, and we are affecting also the world. That's why it's very important right now to not only like think positive, but do positive, like smile to the world, even in like the Nicaraguans does, like Nicaraguans can be like so fucked up, and they're still happy, or they're still like find this picardia. I don't know how to say it in English. Like, like they love they love actually from all the disasters and all those things, because they know how actually like to go forward in somehow. Like they know it's a shit. It's a shit show, and we will go forward. Like even if we are like very bad, we will go forward. So I actually encourage the whole world to actually have this kind of behavior, in order to apply good, like to smile, to give like some kind of a good
yeah,
encouragement.
but then you get in the loop of just being a positive guy, and that just falls into the pretense of false positivity, which I don't suggest we get into that. But if we are mindful people and we know what we're doing and we are righteous of our words and we use our time to do good to people and we help out in whatever way we can and we're good humans, I don't see then why we should worry about anything else. Like,
But this is what I want to say in somehow, that you just be aware of what's going on. Try to find the real media, try to find the real news, the real thing, what's going on in the world, and apply good. I'm not saying you gotta be faking your fucking self, like in order like to say like, oh, everything is okay. It's a fucking meteor coming and destroying the whole world in a couple of minutes.
You
No,
can be
shits are
okay.
not okay. I'm not
Yeah,
saying fake yourself or fake the environment, but try to do good even when the shits are bad, you know, because in this way you can encourage others, encourage government, encourage companies, encourage behaviors of people around you, you know. But because this is what's up, and you know it. Like I mean, like we both in some way are shamans, right?
yeah,
Therefore, if we're close to someone and this person is sad and we give it love, the person maybe is not going to be that sad anymore, you know, maybe a little bit
of
less.
course, of course.
If you go happy to a place, people probably going to be happy around you. If you go sad, people are probably going to be sad around you. If you get angry, people are going to get angry around you. So it's like remember that there is the law of vibration. So whatever you emanate, it will become. That's what I was telling you. Like, try your best to encourage people and to do good, to be happy, to do love. But of course, don't fake it.
Of course, the so-called secret that anything you can wish, anything is right there. You just have to, put your head into it, meditate it, look for it, be aware of the circumstances, and like, I don't know. Yes, you're right.
You know what? That, for example, when we talk about health, like in order, like our bodies, like what we eat, we become, right? It's the same thing to our mind. What we thought, we become. I remember a very nice quote for, I don't remember the artist, but I hear it from Jason Silva when he was saying, "I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am."
Mhm.
You hear it?
Yeah.
So in some way this is a vibration, you know, like it's like from the receptor, from the emanator, or the person who's saying it, to the person which is the mirror which is come back. So if the vibration comes harmonious, I'm doing a good job. But if it's
Yeah.
not, well, I'm gonna get in shit. And it's the same thing, for example, to your body in terms of about health. Not only like in your mind, whatever you put in your mind, you become, but also in your health. Like if you try to eat more healthy, you know, if you try to drink more water, if you try to run, do a little bit more exercise, therefore you're gonna be a little bit more healthier, more happy, more harmonious. It's not the same thing you just drinking Coca-Cola and fast food and all these bad things would actually like make you feel like very low, because it's not only about meat. Meat is quite bad if you do it like so much, but in few doses it's not bad. But if you actually eat this fast food like McDonald's and all this crap, of course you're gonna give you very, very, very low. Like the same thing with alcohol. Like it's not bad you drink like a cup of wine, couple of wine once a week, twice a week maybe. But if you're fucking alcoholic every day, therefore of course your body will say like, what the heck you're doing to me?
Yep. That's why you have to be very careful on what you take and what you eat and what you drink and what you do. Be thoughtful of your actions and just try your best to take care of your body and be in a more holotropic way. Just live the full moment and embrace the full moment as everything it truly is. You have the Buddha right behind you, and well, one of his teachings is just being able to sit on the fire and accept things as they are, which are they are, just they just are. It's nothing as simple and complex as that. And once we get to enjoy our lives, once we get to enjoy ourselves, and embrace our mission or our lack of mission in the world as well, which is truly valuable in this case if you don't know what you're doing, but you know you're going somewhere. That is what truly matters at most, at least to me, in a philosophical, therapeutic kind of way. Whenever I have to deal with people, and I will measure their their advancement not in how they are feeling, but how they are reacting. Because one can only control how one's react. It's very hard to control how we feel sometimes. It takes a lot of
We can
practice.
observe. That's what actually what the Buddha says. Don't try to control. Observe and acceptance. So if you acceptance with gratitude, you grow.
Of course, you get everything from an open heart and be and gracious with gratitude and with good intentions towards everything you do. If you add your true intentions towards everything you do, I bet everything's gonna go well, man. Like if you give your 110% every time, there's no room for dissatisfaction or for rendition, or lacking sufficient, or even if you give your 110%, there's no space for regrets because you did what you could in every mean possible that you could. And if things work or do not work, that does not depend on you. That depends on the effort of all the people that are competing against you, or the whole universe conspiring for you, you know, to drift somewhere else. It's all part of a perfect plan if you think about it. Well, I think that there's a life path somehow, and your decisions are shifting that path and like transforming it along the way. So if you choose to fight or flight, or you choose just to be present in the moment and just stand still and do nothing, which is also an option, let me tell you, that it will shape the path of where we are, like how we shift the conversations, how we empathize with our peers, how we help out in the world, how much do we love, how much are we listening, how much are we taking in, and how much are we really willing to give.
Yeah, because that's a quite like a challenging part, like how much you're willing to give, like how much you are willing to tolerate the environment, because there's like a lot of people, bro, so many who are not tolerant about anything. They just like explode. They don't understand. It's about acceptance. It's about I'm learning something from here. They just want to do their own thing and they explode. They get violence. That's why actually wars becomes because you cannot control the order. Therefore, you kill him.
Of course, but we should avoid wars by all costs. There's no legit reason why there's a war.
Uh, we got a good actually thing right now, which is called internet, and we know by a fact technology and communication has helped on humanity in another level. Therefore, if we know communication is the key, then we should work harder in that particular area. Because in terms of war, for example, like Nicaragua, who have a dictatorship right now, it doesn't matter if you see the president and talk, you and I, for example, with the president, and says like, you should renounce, you should quit your job because
Which he'll never
Nicaragua
do.
people just, what's up?
Which he'll never do. He'll never sit with us and
Exactly, but I'm saying like it's not gonna make any difference if you kill one guy, or if you kill two, if you kill three, or if you kill 50,000, like the last revolution 40 years ago, because at the end, him and I, we're gonna sit in the same table discussing about the same thing. After one or 50,000 people murdered, like your heart.
that you are right. And I don't know how to remove the reaction that hard that just appear, which is cool.
Just
Um,
appear? No.
there you go. Awesome. So, yep, you're right. Going to another sense, what are your New Year's resolutions? Who do you want to be next?
Well, to be honest, cousin, I am already who I want to be. I become shaman. I become a captain. I become a person who have not only a vision but also a mission for his own life. In my case, as you know, I traveled 2 years ago to Canada to help my country, to work with foreign affairs, and try to create kind of awareness for international countries like me, in terms of Canada and other of my friends in the United States and Germany and the Netherlands and other ones, to create awareness to what's going on in Nicaragua, to put pressure to the regime and say, like, you know what, you're doing wrong. We don't want you in power anymore. So, and somehow who I want to be, I want to be a person who encourages others. I want to be a person who can lead by their own example. I want to be a person who can actually show by my own experiment, because what's going on for me or what's happening for me maybe doesn't work for you. But in somehow, I want to show you, you are the one who have the power to change your life. It's in your mind and in your actions how actually you change things. We got a fucked up system worldwide. It's affecting all of us. But that doesn't mean you're gonna be living as a victim. Use the system, manipulate it for your own self, for your own good, and try your best to show others and encourage others to do the same thing. Why? Because if we at some point we can become the owners of our own life, the the writers of our own books, then we're gonna create this freedom. We know we live in a system which is locking us up. In the moment that we got an ID, for example, we got a number, we become a product. But you can use that product to sell other things, which could be love, could be freedom, who could be encouragement, who could be sympathy, could be happiness. There's like so many things in this world that we live in an era of a matrix, which we can become whoever we want to be. Even if you got religion who's telling us what God to believe, if you got a politics who tells us what political party to vote, we got an economic system who tells us who's rich and who's poor. We got all that, but it's a system we create. It's not something who just come from outside space, because at the end, outside space, the inner space, the outer God is the insider God. You and I, we are the same person in two different beings, in two different bodies, but we are the same stardust,
Yeah.
whole vacuum of the universe, if we call it from this perspective. So that's just my personal perspective. I don't know what you think.
I guess you're right completely in all this appearance of who we truly are and the essence of the beings. We're just souls. And this body is just the machine that is controlled by the essence of our true selves or by who we pretend we are or how other people perceive we are, as you mentioned. Very good point of view. I hadn't thought about that precisely, but going more deep into topic, how often do we find ourselves in this transition where, for example, coronavirus is the whole opportunity for us to be drastically changing who we are? And I'm gonna put a pause towards being criticized about not being empathic enough about the people who are suffering and dying from this pandemic. I I'm truly sorry for every life that is being lost and for everyone who's being suffering because of this. I truly am. But if you are like me and like you, that we're safe, we don't have the virus, we can be grateful for many things that we took for granted, that we thought we couldn't live without. And look, we are living without so many other things. We thought we couldn't live without entertainment, without going to the movies every weekend, or without going to a rave and dance every other week, or without seeing our friends or whatever. Look, like we thought we were meant to be social butterflies and go out and see the world, man. Which the true reality is, if you're stuck in your home, you're, there's not much you should do outside. You know what I mean? Like we have, like this Corona situation has shifted the perspective towards being more grateful for the little things instead of the more vague stuff that goes on into the world.
Well, like from a personal perspective, I believe no, not up. Sorry, I'm not released. I know this whole Corona drama. It's the key to shift consciousness for a good thing or a bad thing. We're gonna go on total freedom and become one, more unite, working together, and push forward humanity, or we're just gonna get locked down by companies who controls governments and become their slave. Well, technically, we are their slave right now, but we got this key right now in order to say we're gonna be free and we're gonna work for others, or we're just gonna acceptance the slavery in the next. This is like, do you remember the movie Terminator?
Yep. What about
When
it?
when this guy come from the future to kill the guy who actually helped humanity to go forward, we're in quite that moment right now before we get into the machines control. That's why 2020 it's like the year of
What
awakening for
somebody's
humanity.
gonna come from the future and kill Bill Gates, disappear him, and then kill Jeff Bezos and disappear him, and you know,
Who
and Mike
knows?
Zuckerberg and just disappear him. I don't.
Well, you don't know. Like it's about like how far you can go. Because from a personal perspective, I don't believe aliens are other guys from outer space. I believe aliens are ourselves in the future who come back to try to fix the shit they did
Well,
not do it on
that
time.
that
That's
is
my
right.
just my imagination. It's my dream, right? I'm just doing my own utopia in these things.
Yeah, but I don't think we can proclaim things we don't know, and exaggerated as mentioned. It will partially affect their credibility towards like uh
But
word.
UFOs it's a fact that there's like so much proof in the internet and so much proof like worldwide. Like we has been visited by other things we don't understand. Like there's videos about like flying saucers going like from 50, 60,000 feet to 10
I've
feet
seen
in a matter of
I've seen
seconds.
them. I've seen them, and I believe that the governments have been working on very crazy stuff since a lot of times, and maybe just maybe those are government made, aircrafts and with different technology we don't know of. Or maybe I don't know. What do you think? We think we live among aliens, like in Men in Black, for example, that maybe you are an alien behind that beautiful face of yours, or I don't think so.
Talking about Men in Black, you just remind me. I saw a post one of these days on Facebook saying like, I just wish to be like Men in Black, in order like to somebody comes to me and says like, this 2020, you're not gonna believe this thing.
That'd be cool, man. I wish.
Yeah, well, somehow.
Well,
But
but
but at the same time, if we forget all of this, how are we supposed to grow? If we are not there, we don't actually experiment the situation. How are we supposed to grow?
I don't regret it. I don't regret coronavirus. I regret not being prepared for coronavirus. I regret, buying the ticket to go across the road and, plan vacations, which ended up being canceled and like not getting all my refund, all my money back. Then I spent it on creating vacations and stuff like that. But man, that's just me being a spoiled brat. Then I can afford vacations. There's people that couldn't even afford a day without going to work, food to work to mouth business, food to yeah, man, cash to mouth. It's day by day business. Then people that they just survive from what they make daily, and at least I could afford that, but many other people cannot do that. Stop working.
The right path.
Well, if you're a little bit smart like us and you you invest a little in safe stuff, and then you have enough savings
to carry you around, and you know how much you're gonna spend in a year, and make sure you always have that amount, and trying to
Like for
make it.
traveling, for example, you're trying to disconnect from what you're doing like every day. Like what you're doing right now, going to the beach. Like I wish to be there right now.
And
Outside is getting like snowing, bro. It's just like that.
I wish you were here as well, man. Outside it's freaking hot. On air with air conditioner. Like
I feel you.
it's I put it like on 18 degrees because outside, man, sweating my ass off. Yeah, it's not good.
It's like 32, maybe, yeah.
It's like 32 degrees. Yes, outside.
Yeah,
So horrible.
yeah, but traveling for sure, like it helps you like a lot in order like to open your mind.
And sure, and traveling with Corona, it will be very interesting. Like, see, like I mentioned, man, the most likely we'll have to get vaccinated to travel, and that is when
You believe it's
the
gonna be
vaccine is gonna
mandatory?
go viral. Huh?
You believe actually it's gonna be mandatory in order to travel to get the vaccine?
I believe it's gonna be mandatory for you to travel, like university. There's gonna be a few countries in the world that are gonna allow you to come in without a vaccine. For example, Nicaragua probably is one of those countries that would allow you to come without any vaccine, but it's gonna be one of the few, like less than 10% of the whole world of the world countries will decide not to proceed with this. I truly believe that about 90% of the population of the world, of the countries in the world, will choose to only allow visitors who have been who had the shot of the coronavirus. And at least that is what I think. Proof is that right now we don't have a vaccine, and for every country you want to get in, you have to get corona tested. And in some countries, it's not even like you get corona tested and then that's it. You get to go to your home. No, 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 no. You go to quarantine and you spend about 2 weeks in a hotel or in a hospital or I don't know, God's who knows where, just waiting for you to not have any symptoms. And if you start coughing or start getting any symptoms by any reason, you get attended and then you get into trouble because of that. I imagine dying and not being able to say goodbye to your loved ones or being able to hug anyone because you're radioactive or say your regular goodbyes and know that you're not gonna get a proper burial if you believe into that, which I want to become a tree when I die. Just leave my body on top of soil and make me a human compost out of myself. I want a big jojoto tree to grow from my beings. Um, but
Yeah, I feel
that's
it. Like, well, we will see. Like to be honest, like I'm quite sick about it. Like so many rules about Corona. Like Canada is getting like over dramatic. Like Toronto is just getting locked down. So many rules. Like you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Ticket for this, ticket for that. Like in Quebec, for example, I don't know, it's still on, but like a month ago, a couple of months ago, like you cannot have more than one person in your house. You got more than one person, you're gonna have $1,000 fine per person. You cannot make a birthday party, for example, or a reunion with your friends or your family. Like because you get like
so who cares? That's a social construct. Like everything
we care
else
because we live
is
in here. That I live in Canada, and therefore I cannot have group with my friends because I gotta get fined.
well, boo-hoo. Deal with yourself. Deal with just being by yourself. Get to
I
know
am
and
doing it, but I'm not. I'm saying that I'm
embrace
not planning to
yourself.
live the rest of my life like this because it's getting very uncomfortable. Like you are getting away
Uh,
of all your friends and family because the government allows you. The government is supposed to serve the people in order to freedom, not restrict the people. Like that's why Nicaragua is fighting for their own freedom because the government is just like biting the ass of every single customer, a citizen, and at the same time taking their rights away. For example, like this stupid law they just make in order like you cannot post anything about the government because you're gonna get in jail for life.
For life.
What kind of for life? That's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of stupid laws the government do that? Like Canada is doing like so many stupid rules too. There's like a lot of good ones, but there's like so many things we're getting over dramatic. That's what the people is very upset. In Toronto's doing protests, Montreal is doing protests, and here in Ottawa it was 15,000 people doing protests in front of the parliament. People is getting sick. Like not sick because of Corona, sick because of the kind of way the government is acting. There's like so much money going on. People exactly don't know what the fuck is going to happen with that much money, and we need to actually start taking away all the false news, all the things who are not actually trackable, and start looking for something which should be like more democratic, more for human rights, and more transparency for cities that can actually like come back to the harmonious life they used to have, or at least closer.
Well, it's very funny what you mentioned because then we start getting shifts where some cities will become all claustrophobic and a whole germophobic and go with the corona script of not living a normal life. And then you'll have a small communities that will choose, hey, what the fuck? Let's go up each other. Let's be with each other. Let's, come back and, just create this safety net around you. I don't know what, like, to put it in perspective. Since this corona situation started to happen, a lot of flights and a lot of people have been paying for private flights from Japan, Northern Europe, the US, Canada, to come and retire to Nicaragua. They come in a private jet and they come with money and they build a house in a remote community. And they tell their friends, hey, you should come as well. And then you start getting villages of Japanese people, of Canadians, of Americans, of people from all over the world, like not secluded or separated against each other, but just living in nature and among themselves, taking good care and like not leaving the outside and just mingling in among themselves, which is good. But what I'm trying to say is you have a shift in people that, they lived in an apartment and they like in or a very tiny place and they come and acquire acres of land in a pristine country that is, with that has as many natural resources that we have here. You know what I mean?
Yes, I feel you. That's what I was telling you, like in some way, like to try to be as healthy as possible, like to be as harmonious as possible in your mind and your body. So in this way you can be away from all this drama. But that's what it is, like it's a drama life. Even with or without COVID, we're still in drama. Like we all got our own bubble, our own drama life. Like how we perceive life, how we allows this drama life to affect us, and how we react and become in order like to be whoever, as you asked me, you want to be.
Of course. You're right. I think we've covered enough for today. Maybe we continue the topics a little bit deeper tomorrow. If you want to do a second part of the podcast, I'm definitely down. Thank you so much for sharing your idea. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I truly love the vibe of the whole Christmas tree and the fish tank behind you. That's very pristine and powerful looking. Man, I wish you the best. It's truly been an honor to get this conversation and speak with you today. I'm truly grateful, man, for this opportunity. And like, I wish we can continue to carry on. And I wish you the best, man. And happy holidays to you and for everybody who's listening to this crazy podcast for me today.
Well, as always, cousin, like the honor is mine. I of course wish you all the best for you, like I wish I told you like to be there at the beach, smoking a joint, grabbing a beer, like having life. But for now, it is what it is. We are doing our best, like to survive and go forward in life, like taking all this drama we were just talking and so far. But it has been an honor and a pleasure, as always, like to have you here and don't get that lost. We're definitely gonna get back together.
Of course, man. Good to see you, man. I'll talk to you soon, brother. Much love. Thank you for having me on your show, man.